Hello, gents. Raising a child is like leading a revolution, said the philosopher, who knew that the real battleground is the home. When the leader is a Sigma male, the rules of the game shift dramatically. In a world where parenting often follows predictable patterns, the Sigma dad stands out, calm yet deeply involved, independent yet intensely engaged. He doesn't follow the usual script, and his approach to fatherhood is far from ordinary. His methods focus on fostering independence, encouraging critical thinking, and leading by example. This isn't about a detached dad who's off in his own world. It's about a man who redefines what it means to guide and nurture. The Sigma dad style is a nuanced balance between giving space and being present, between letting go and holding on just enough. It's a way of parenting that intrigues and puzzles, promising to reshape how we view paternal love and leadership. Get ready to explore the unique world of the Sigma father, where the lines between calm and distant merge into a powerful blend of strength, wisdom, and subtle but profound impact. Let's break down gents. Number 1. Encourages independence but leaves the door always open. The Sigma dad is like the best kind of mystery novel, full of twists, turns, and an open ending. He's the type who encourages his kids to be as independent as possible. If his kid wants to try making dinner, he hands over the spatula without a second thought, knowing the kitchen might end up looking like a disaster zone. He believes that true independence comes from experience, and sometimes experience means a bit of mess. But here's the twist. Even as he pushes his children to stand on their own, he's always there in the background, ready to step in when needed. He's like a secret superhero, blending into the daily grind, but jumping into action at the first sign of real trouble. His kids know they can experiment, explore, and even fail because he's got their backs. It's like having a safety net that's invisible most of the time, but unmistakably there when you're about to take a big fall. His home operates on a principle of trust and freedom. The kids know they can come to him with anything, and he'll listen without jumping to conclusions or handing out instant punishments. They might not always get the answer they want, but they'll get an honest one. This open-door policy means his kids feel confident to face the world, knowing they have a solid base to return to, like always having a backstage pass to the concert of life. They're out there in the crowd, rocking their own moves, but they can slip backstage whenever they need a breather or some advice from the ultimate roadie. They're Sigma dad. Number 2, teaches his kids to read people, not just books. The Sigma dad understands that the world is full of complex social dynamics and that being book-smart is only part of the equation. So, he makes it his goal to teach his kids how to read people, not just pages. While other parents might be focused on drilling multiplication tables or spelling words, he's busy decoding body language and the subtleties of tone and gesture with his kids. He might turn a trip to the grocery store into a lesson on human behavior. Check out that person over there. See how they're tapping their foot? They're probably impatient. And notice how that cashier is smiling with their eyes, but not their mouth? That's a sign of a genuine smile. His kids get good at picking up these cues, almost like little social detectives. His home is like a mini social lab. Dinner conversations often shift to why people act the way they do. He asks questions that make his kids think deeply. Why do you think your friend was upset today? Did you notice how they crossed their arms? What might that mean? These aren't just casual chats. They're training sessions for real-world interactions. Humor also plays a role in these lessons. Did you see Aunt Linda's eyebrows go up when she saw the dog on the couch? That's a classic sign of surprise and probably disapproval. Better keep Fido off the furniture when she's around. His kids learn to navigate social nuances with a mix of sharp observation and light-hearted commentary. By teaching his children to read people, the Sigma dad gives them an invaluable skill set. They grow up not just understanding books, but also grasping the unwritten stories behind every human interaction. They learn empathy, strategic thinking, and how to anticipate needs and reactions. This makes them good at forming meaningful relationships, avoiding conflicts, and even spotting when someone isn't being entirely honest. It's like having a superpower focused on understanding and connecting with the human experience. Number 3, teaches his kids to question everything, even him. For the Sigma dad, Raising kids isn't about making mini versions of himself. It's about shaping thinkers, skeptics, and little philosophers. He teaches his kids to question everything, including his own rules and beliefs. When his kid asks, "Why do I have to eat broccoli?" he doesn't just say, "Because I said so." Instead, he explains the health benefits of vegetables and encourages them to do their own research. Who knows? They might come back with some unexpected take on the dietary habits of pandas. This approach makes every day a learning adventure. If he says bedtime is at 8 p.m., he's open to a debate on sleep cycles and circadian rhythms. His kids quickly learn that knowledge is power, and their minds become buzzing hubs of curiosity and reasoning. It's like living with a group of young detectives who won't rest until they've figured out every bit of truth, even if it means questioning the detective-in-chief. But the great thing about this method is that it builds a deep respect and mutual understanding. His kids don't just follow rules blindly, they understand the reasons behind them. And when they do follow his lead, it's not out of fear or obedience, but because they trust his judgment after a good, solid debate. It's a home where "because I said so" is replaced with "let's figure this out together." This kind of intellectual freedom ensures that his kids grow up with sharp minds, ready to challenge the world, and maybe even question why coffee is considered breakfast. Number 4. Connects through shared hobbies, not forced family time. The Sigma Dad is a master at making real connections. He doesn't drag his kids into forced family dinners or awkward game nights where everyone pretends to enjoy themselves. Instead, he finds genuine ways to bond through shared interests and hobbies. If his kid loves painting, he's right there with a canvas making a mess together. If another child is into stargazing, you'll find him on the lawn with a telescope, pointing out constellations and probably making up a few new ones just for fun. This way of connecting means there's no eye-rolling or clock-watching during family time. Instead of mandatory activities that feel like chores, the Sigma Dad creates moments that everyone actually looks forward to. It's about finding that sweet spot where his passions overlap with theirs. It's less about, "we have to spend time together," and more about, "we get to do this cool thing together." And let's not forget the spontaneous adventures. He's the type to wake his kids up early on a Saturday with, "Grab your shoes, we're going on an adventure." Maybe it's a hike, a trip to the beach, or just exploring a new part of town. These impromptu outings become the stuff of family legends, filled with laughter, stories, and maybe a few wrong turns that turn into right ones. This approach ensures that his kids grow up with memories of genuine fun and real connections. They'll remember the laughs, the shared excitement, and the feeling that their dad was always up for an adventure. It's family bonding, Sigma style, authentic, engaging, and never forced. Number 5. Lets his kids fight their own battles at the playground. At the playground, the Sigma Dad is the calm center in the whirlwind of overprotective parents. While others rush in to sort out every squabble over the swings, he's on the bench, letting his kids handle their own conflicts. When little Jimmy snatches the shovel from his kid, he doesn't swoop in like a referee. Instead, he watches, giving his child the chance to negotiate, stand up for themselves, or even move on and find a new game. This hands-off approach isn't about neglect, it's about teaching resilience. His kids learn early that life isn't always fair and that they need to figure things out on their own. They become little problem solvers, learning how to handle bullies, make compromises, and dust themselves off when they fall. Sure, there might be a few bumps and bruises along the way, but these are seen as badges of honor in the Sigma household, proof of lessons learned and challenges faced. He might even have a running commentary with other parents, joking about how his kid will handle the latest playground drama. $5 says he negotiates the shovel back without a fuss, he might say with a grin. More often than not, his kids surprise everyone with their creativity and grit. They become the playground diplomats, the ones other kids turn to when things get tough. By letting his kids fight their own battles, the Sigma Dad is raising strong, capable, and resourceful individuals. And when they come running to him with stories of their latest triumphs or setbacks, he listens, offers advice if needed, but mostly just celebrates their growing independence and resilience. Number 6. He leads by example, not authority. The Sigma Dad is the ultimate role model, leading by example rather than by issuing orders. He doesn't bark commands from a position of authority. Instead, he lives out the values he wants to teach his kids. If he wants them to be kind, he shows kindness in his daily interactions. If he believes in hard work, he demonstrates it through his own efforts, whether he's tackling a big project at work or fixing a leaky faucet at home. His kids see him getting things done and naturally want to follow suit. They respect him not because he demands it, but because he earns it every single day. When he talks about the importance of honesty, they believe him because they've never caught him in a lie, not even a small one about who ate the last slice of cake. It's common to hear them say, "I want to be like Dad," not out of obligation, but out of genuine admiration. In his household, the phrase, "do as I say, not as I do," doesn't exist. Instead, it's all about watch and learn. When he's up early for a morning run, his kids see the value of fitness and routine. When he volunteers at the local shelter, they understand the importance of giving back. His actions speak louder than any lecture could, and his kids pick up these lessons naturally, with a bit of humor thrown in. He might even joke, "Don't follow my footsteps exactly, make your own path, but here's a map if you need it." His guidance is subtle yet effective, helping his kids feel like capable explorers of their own paths. They grow up with a strong sense of direction, integrity, and a touch of his quiet, steady strength. It's leadership without the megaphone, and it works like a charm. Number 7. He treats his kids like adults in training, not babies. The Sigma Dad treats his kids like young adults in the making, not just perpetual kids. From an early age, his children get a taste of real responsibilities and the satisfaction that comes with them. He doesn't hover to make sure they're tying their shoes just right. He shows them how once and then lets them figure it out. It's like a hands-on internship for adulthood. In his home, chores aren't just about keeping the place tidy. They're lessons in responsibility and time management. When his kids grumble about cleaning their rooms, he might say, "Welcome to life, buddy, it's full of messy rooms." His humor keeps things light, but the lesson hits home. They learn that their actions have consequences, and taking care of their own space is part of that. His approach to decision-making is similarly empowering. Instead of dictating what they wear or what they eat, he gives them options and lets them choose. If his kid wants to wear mismatched socks or have cereal for dinner now and then, he's fine with it. "Fashion statement or breakfast for dinner, go for it," he might say. This freedom helps his kids develop their own preferences and independence. For bigger decisions, he involves them in the process. Whether it's planning a family vacation or choosing a new pet, his kids have a say. "You want a lizard? Fine, but you'll need to research how to care for it. It's your responsibility." This way, they learn the importance of being informed and accountable for their choices. He also encourages his kids to voice their opinions and discuss their ideas, no matter how big or small. Dinner conversations at his place are lively debates about everything from school projects to current events. He listens to their viewpoints, often pushing them to think deeper. "Interesting point, but have you thought about this angle?" he'll ask, nudging them to expand their thinking. By treating his kids like young adults in training, the Sigma Dad builds their confidence and competence. They grow up knowing how to handle themselves in various situations, make informed decisions, and stand by their choices. They don't just make the transition to adulthood, they excel in it, thanks to the real-world skills and self-assurance their Sigma Dad instilled in them. Number 8. Balances cool detachment with deep emotional support. The Sigma Dad is a mix of calm detachment and solid emotional support, a combination that keeps his kids both guessing and growing. To an outsider, he might seem like the parent who stays cool no matter what, rarely getting worked up over spilled milk or missed soccer games. But behind that calm facade is a deep well of support his kids can rely on whenever they need it. At first glance, he might not seem like the type to hover over every little setback or victory. When his child stumbles during a recital, he doesn't rush in to pick them up right away. Instead, he might wait off to the side with a knowing smile, letting them experience the embarrassment and the thrill of overcoming it on their own. "Hey, everyone makes mistakes," he might say with a shrug. "The real win is how you handle them." Yet, for all his apparent distance, His kids know they have a rock-solid support system. When they come home after a rough day, he's the one who listens without jumping in to fix everything. He's there with a cup of tea, a warm hug, or just a space to vent. His support isn't about swooping in to save the day. It's about quietly being there while they work things out themselves. His emotional support is subtle, but woven into his daily interactions. He doesn't shower his kids with praise all the time. Instead, he gives it when it's truly earned and needed, making it more meaningful. "Nice job on that project," he'll say. "I knew you had it in you." This praise is like a rare gem standing out against the backdrop of his otherwise steady and measured approach. This mix of cool detachment and deep support ensures his kids don't become overly dependent or expect their emotions to be coddled constantly. They grow up understanding they can handle their own challenges, but always have a dependable anchor if they need it. It's a delicate balance that teaches resilience and self-reliance, with the comforting knowledge that their Sigma dad is there to catch them if they truly fall. In his world, love isn't loud and overbearing. It's steady, reliable, and often wrapped in a joke or a dry comment. His kids know they can count on him, but they also learn that real growth happens when they're allowed to stretch their wings and navigate life's ups and downs with just the right amount of guidance. In the end, the Sigma dad is a masterclass in blending strength with subtlety and independence with support. He redefines what it means to be a nurturing figure by combining a cool, laid-back demeanor with deep emotional backing. His approach to fatherhood isn't about grand gestures, but about steady, impactful actions that empower his children to become capable, resilient, and thoughtful adults. His home is like a life skills lab where lessons are taught through example rather than direct instruction. He doesn't just tell his kids how to live, he shows them with quiet confidence and a constant presence. His methods might be a bit unconventional, but they're incredibly effective, creating an environment where his children can thrive independently while always knowing they have a solid base to fall back on. By the time his kids head out into the world, they're not just armed with academic knowledge, but also with the wisdom of emotional intelligence and self-reliance. They carry with them lessons of resilience, empathy, and genuine connection, all learned from a dad who leads not by command but through the power of his own example. The Sigma dad's legacy isn't just in his children's successes, but in the strength and grace with which he prepared them for the world. Thanks, gents, for watching. See you in the next video. Take care, bye for now, and God bless.